Hello everyone, and welcome to Yoshi 1 Kenobi's Eerie Ultimatum Landfall deck. In this deck, we aim to play Eerie Ultimatum. Return any number of permanent cards with different names from your graveyard to the battlefield, and get a bunch of landfall triggers. So the thing with Eerie Ultimatum is that it's hard to get the 3 colors, the 7 mana, and enough good stuff in your graveyard to revive, to put you in a position to win the game, either instantly or in a turn or two. But you'll often get a bunch of lands in your graveyard, so if we can maximize the value out of those lands, then we can make Eerie Ultimatum very powerful and game winning. How do we do that? Well, the main piece of interaction is Felidar Retreat. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, we create a 2/2 beast, or we put a +1/+1 counter on each creature we control, and these creatures gain vigilance until end of turn. So with Eerie Ultimatum, if we get back 5 or 6 lands, that means that we get to put 5 or 6 creatures, or even worse, put up to 5 or 6 +1/+1 counters on our creatures and swing for a lethal attack. And that's very easy to do with cards like Fabled Passage and Evolving Wilds, which will put themselves in the graveyard when you use them. And then when they come back into play, there are 2 more landfall triggers. So from just an Evolving Wild and a Fabled Passage in the graveyard that you revive with Eerie Ultimatum, you get 4 landfall triggers out of it, which is fairly decent with Felidar Retreat on the battlefield. So how do we feed our graveyard? We're playing Tymaret Calls the Dead, because it puts 6 cards in the graveyard and creates 2 2/2 black zombie tokens. Now, Tymaret Calls the Dead actually synergizes very well with Felidar Retreat and Eerie Ultimatum. Puts cards in the graveyard, gets you creatures, gets you to scry, and those creatures can be used with Felidar Retreat to become monstrous beasts, well, zombies actually. Speaking of zombies, we're playing 2 Mire Tritons because it mills cards. It helps us to gain a bit of life and fend off early aggro. We're playing 4 copies of Skyclave Apparition, because it helps us to fend off that early aggro and it's in the Abzan colors. We're also playing 4 copies of Lotus Cobra because we like mana and we need to be very mana hungry to cast that 7 mana Eerie Ultimatum. And with the 4 Fabled Passage and 2 Evolving Wilds, we can often get 2 triggers off of Lotus Cobra for more mana. We play a bunch of one-ofs, one of Garruk, Cursed Huntsman, Elder Gargarok, Yasharn, First Iron Games, because Eerie Ultimatum only allows you to put permanents with different names from your graveyard to the battlefield. So we're encouraged to play one-ofs, or lesser copies of different permanents. So we're playing 4 copies of our key permanents in the deck, a bunch of one-ofs, and a handful of 2-ofs that are very good and that we want to revive. So Elspeth Conquers that, very powerful removal. You want to revive it with Eerie Ultimatum. You also get the choice to revive a creature from your graveyard, so having these one-ofs gives you a bit more options. Landwar Visionary gives you mana. I figured out that I was playing a bunch of enchantments, so Neshin Wanderer actually helps us to reach these 7 lands, especially if we don't have Lotus Cobra. So Neshin Wanderer helps us block early on, and the Constellation trigger on it is easy to trigger with, well, a bunch of enchantments that are in the list, and helps us reach that 7 mana where we get to cast our Eerie Ultimatum and hopefully win the game. So this is a spicy list, quite fun to play, actually very fun to play. So let's see it in action with some games. We are playing Eerie Ultimatum Landfall in MTG Arena Standard against Erika Lan. Alright, 4 lands, a Timmy's and Eerie Ultimatum. What could go wrong? It's actually a pretty good start. It's no pressure, and it's White Weenies. Seasoned Hollowblade. Not really a problem. We have white, green or white, so I guess we're fetching black with Evolving Wilds. Lurus. Let's go fetch our black source. Take the pain. That's a bit too many Eerie Ultimatums. Time to apparate. Exile the Hollow Blade. Indestructible is a pain. This is a problem, but right now it's a problem that we can block. Not for long, I imagine. Okay. There it is. Or you really should have attacked with Lurrus there. Had no advantage in blocking the Lurrus and just trading for the Alsaid. Ugh, a whiff. That's bad. Well, that's the turn. 4 lands. Fog the Alsaid, take 6. Yeah, there's no reason to do that. He would have actually gained 1 life if he would have let it die to combat and saved a point of mana. Opponent is making a couple of small mistakes here. Cobra. Mars Grasp and Gargaroth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with the Cobra. I want both of those. So I'm going to decline. Which sounds really weird. Need to make sure I have all the colors. Yeah, I'm not casting anything off of that. So I'm going to pass the turn back. Opponent has 7 points of damage on board. Selfless Savior. Attack for 6 is good. And then we're going to start with the Eerie Ultimatums. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fabled Passage. I need a black source. Also fetch another black source. Maximize our odds of getting the actual mana to just cast the ultimatum. Although it doesn't really matter because we're about to revive a ton of lands. Eerie Ultimatum. No counter spells in white. I'll have one of everything that's on the menu, sir. Mars grab Lurrus. Oh, and he can't respond. That's interesting. Mill 3 off of Timmy. I like those cards. Green. Black. Black. White. Do I actually get to resolve a second Eerie Ultimatum in the same turn? That's kind of fun. White. Do I want to? Yasharn? Yeah. Do I want to? Let's see, Yasharn, Elspeth's Nightmare, Myers Grasp, and more lands. And a Triome. Let's play the other Tymaret, Calls the Dead. We're not under pressure right now. Although we could have casted a second Eerie Ultimatum. Yeah, we'll exile the Cobra. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're short 1 mana. Which is sad, because now we have the Felidar Retreat. I think it's almost impossible to lose off of this. Opponent needs to give +2 and flying to the Seasoned Hollow Blade, give protection from green with the State of Life's bounty. I guess that's one way to win. Yep, that was the one way to win. Apparently, I should have cast the second Eerie Ultimatum. And Myra's Grass the Season Hollowblade. But that was so explosive. So explosive. And we get cheap shot. Okay. That's the way things go. But we got some awesomeness that game. We are playing Eerie Ultimatum Landfall in the MTG Arena Standard against N0724. Let's keep this. It's pretty good. We have Timmy's, a Cobra, an Eerie Ultimatum, and a way to fetch lands. Actually, this is about as good a hand as it can get. Ideally, we go Brad Climb Yasharn next turn. Let's go black. White off the Cobra. Go get 'em lands. Now it looks like we're playing control because we just fetched a bunch of lands. We have 6 cards and creatures in play. Well, our 4/4 just got Skyclave. It's okay because we're about to Skyclave your 3/3. Go for white. No attacks. Cobra is too valuable. We get a Felidar Retreat. Yeah, we just get a Felidar Retreat next turn. Felidar Retreat is pretty good. Especially against an opponent who keeps on playing weak stuff. Making 2/2s. Fabled Passage is very good. Not only because we have Felidar Retreat, but because we have Eerie Ultimatum to bring it back. Daxos, don't really care. As long as there's no Helliot, Daxos is just the wall. Kinda want to sack that Skyclave Apparition too. Let's go Timmy's. Fill up that graveyard. Let's make that 2/2. Let's make more. Yeah, I think we can just blow up our opponent next turn. Oh, we won't actually win the game because the opponent has too many blockers. But we'll get to transform our creatures into pretty hefty beasts. And if we're lucky, we'll mill something good at Tymaret. One, two, three. That was a Fabled Passage, yeah. I'd rather have Nessian Wanderer than Random Land. Fabled Passage. Make a beast. I'll need black. Crack the Fabled Passage. Make another beast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're just a little short. We can't cycle the Triome. So we'll just Eerie Ultimatum. And it's mostly for lands. But you know what? That is good enough. When you have Felidar Retreat in play, that is. Yep, it is enough. Especially there's an Evolving Wild and Fabled Passage. So you get 6 +1/+1 counters on our army of creatures. And that's too much for you, Mono White. Yeah, I'll keep this. Evolving Wilds for white. Cobra on 2. Against an Innkeeper deck. Yeah, Cobra. So I want a Yasharn. Yasharn fixes most of my mana problems. Except the lack of black. Alright, getting Bone Crusher. Ooze. Ooze is yucky. Well, at the very least, we'll have lands to play. They're not the best, but they are lands. And at the end of the day, that's why we're playing Magic, to play lands. And do some really cool stuff with them. That ooze is a problem. I'm not sure I need to deal with it now. Let's go Visionary. Visionary Wanderer. Ramp up that mana. Make it look like I'm playing Selesnya. I guess I haven't attacked with Yasharn. That's odd. Okay. It does actually hurt to have the Evolving Wild exile. There is no stopping. Alright, Vesting Beast. Sure. Mire Triton. I think I just wanted to go on the aggro plan here. Apparition the Ooze. Vanishing Light, the Questing Beast. Wanderer, get a Triome. That's a fair bit of damage. And we are wide. I don't like losing the Cobra, but Innkeeper is also very valuable. Not scared. Ah, yes. There's always a Fabled Passage when there's a Brushfire Elemental. Always. That's a lot of burst. That's convenient. Sure. And apparently we can just out-aggro Gruul. That's how you do it. Without the Eerie Ultimatum. Except it was sitting pretty in our hand, and we would have casted it someday. But we won first, so nothing to complain about. We are playing Eerie Ultimatum Landfall on MTG Arena Standard against Reno 1. Against Rogues. This is marginally keepable. We have all our colors, we have Cobra, but we're short a land or two. Alright. Go ahead and shock yourself with your Agony in the Undercrypt. Alright, well, there goes our other Felidar Retreats. There's no real point in playing Cobra now. Kinda want Timmy's. I don't need that Cobra. Well, I definitely don't need 2 Felidar Retreats. Opponent's putting on some pressure. And putting stuff into a graveyard. I just need to draw some lands. Before we get milled out, of course. Alright, that's good. It's very good, actually. Yeah, I don't really want to bring back another Timmy's. So I'll exile that for a zombie. Cobra. Passage. Let's go white. Crack for white. Get a green. Apparition or Iroan games? Let's go Apparition. Top Thief. So we don't have anything that blocks in the air. And multiple top Thieves is just devastating. So we'll go with that. Rune Crab in multiples is also a problem. But 1 is okay. We're starting to feel the mill pain though. Scry 2 doesn't really matter. Don't want the Wanderer. I do want the Plains, but I'm never gonna draw it. Our own games would allow me to draw more cards in a couple of turns. So let's go with that. Also presents some pressure on the board. As in Felidar Retreat did nothing for me that turn. Yeah, I wasn't counting too hard on those lands. Get milled. Oh no, all the beautiful lands. They're all hitting the graveyard. Let's make the 1/1 into a 4/4. It's gonna die. At least Elspeth Nightmare is a good card. That's gonna get drowned. Oh no. 21. Soaring Thought Thief. Costs more for lures to bring back. So I guess now I have an attack. I think that's my attack. The 2/2s. Don't want to lose the 4/4 because it's going to draw me cards next turn. So I get the Elspeth's Nightmare Phase 2, which is pretty good. 3 cards that I would have liked, especially the land, really. Called the Dead Dwellers. Okay. It's a lot of mill. And the third Eerie Ultimatum. So you have one more left in 14 cards. And 12 cards. No blocks. The Cobra is really good. If we can draw Fabled Passage, Eerie Ultimatum, that'd be fantastic. Alright, so counter magic. Insane draw spell or a lull mage domination. I don't want you to draw land, so into the story we'll go. Oh. Evolving Wilds is decent. Let me just check. 1 forest, 2 plains, 2 forests, 2 plains, 2 swamps. Yeah, I'm all out. It's actually pretty bad. I'm all out of basics, so I'm going to Temple of Silence. Boosting my team. I don't really want to draw that. I'll take green mana for no apparent reason. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. Opponent can steal a creature. I think counters only creatures or planeswalkers. So we'll put the maximum amount of pressure we can. Opponent doesn't have free blocks. Main problem is the mill. Although I guess our opponent does have a little bit of problem with life totals. Fabled Passage was about the worst thing our opponent could have drawn. So you'll have one card. There's still a chance for Ultimatum. You have to play Lull's Mage Domination, take my 5/5. Attack with Soaring Thought Thief, I guess. No, that leaves you dead. Yeah, you can't attack. You can attack with Soaring Thought Thief. Oh, never mind. Last card is Nested Wanderer. I don't see a way out of this. So there's nothing that I can target with Elspeth Conquers Death. You're playing too small stuff, opponent. Opponent will sack a crab and Thief Guild Enforcer. But we'll lose anyways. It's close, just not close enough. And that is game. Almost. We are playing Eerie Ultimatum Landfall in MTG Arena Standard against AMVP. This is an odd hand. I think I'll keep it. Fetching white with that Fabled Passage. Drawing another white source. Ooh, Ragdos. Haven't seen you in a while. I wanted that Triome. Oh well. Off the board, you robber. My apparition said no. And use fake rocks up. Don't need Elspeth Conquers Dead. Doesn't deal with enough of your stuff. Cobra. Not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for lands, really. Yasharn would be awesome. Because we're going retreat. Do we play the Fabled Passage on one retreat, or do we wait? I think we go retreat Fabled Passage. Unless we draw another land. Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, we still go retreat. Thinking about bone crushing the apparition. Opponent has decided not to bone crush the apparition. Eliminate's just as good. I'll just take the damage. Increase our odds of drawing lands, and we'll also get the second retreat. Before we crack the passage. And we'll pass a turn back. Tymaret. Not enough for Croxa. I don't care too much about the damage. I have the capability of dealing a lot more. Black source. 2/2, 2/2. Draw a Triton. Attempted to find a land. Miss. Play Triton. Just why not? Hit you for 4. Alright, well, it's a card. Opponent gets the Croxa. Close to Ox. Not quite. That's your only choice. Alright. Opponent will Croxa. Have enough things in the graveyard. I don't think I need the Cobra though. Triton Iroan games. I would have liked that Fabled Passage. But that's alright. The opponent only has 1 card. Although opponent does have Castle Lockbane, which is problematic. We have first Iroan games. Ugh. Yeah, that hurts. Now we don't have anything to block Croxa. Then we'll lose the Timmies. Moon chose not to do anything, which is a fairly huge mistake. I really should have played Tymaret Calls Dead first. That's an oopsies. Kinda wanted that Eerie Ultimatum. And now we're set up decently. I don't think that deck plays board wipes. Opponent's at 10. Tymaret. That's good for us, because it's slow. As long as we still have at least a 4/4, we'll get to draw 3 cards next turn. Ugh. Guess we'll have to settle for one. But it's a good one. Skyclave Apparition. Gives us a good attack. Opponent doesn't have another Croxa. We're ahead on life, so everything? Only good blocks are double blocks, and you take 8. Well, you're down to 1, which puts you out of range of Castle Lockvein. So double Felidar Retreat will do the trick. And we'll get the gold token for the first Iroan games, which will allow us to cast an Eerie Ultimatum if we do draw one. But the opponent's dead on board, so it doesn't matter. Four blockers, 5 attackers will get in for at least one. Oh, but we just drew the Eerie Ultimatum, which would have been very explosive, but because our opponent was dead on board, they didn't sit back to enjoy the show. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe. It won't cost you any mana, and it greatly helps to support this channel and keep the awesome videos coming. Until next time, may the fun be with you.